Well, here we are. Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. It's evening here, 7 o'clock in Croatia. How you all doing? Enjoying the energies? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, the energies. The beginning of the new, most definitely the new. And I was just playing with this babushka from Russia. It's so resonant of where we are right now. We open it up and we find all of these layers and layers and layers of different elements of who we are. And as we go deeper and deeper, we eventually get to the core of who we are. And it's really quite small. This one is really quite small. Look how small it is. And what we're doing now is building this back together again in the new, so that we can begin the new way of living. After all that we've learned, I'm sorry, I'm just building this back because it's here. After all that we've learned, it's time to put it into practice in so many different ways. And I know that there are lots of my soul family, so back together again. Just like new. So this is an interesting anecdote to refer to, and a nice gift that I got from Moscow. But it's really what it's about right now. And I know that there's many that are suffering from awakening symptoms, stomach aches, headaches, body aches, all the aches under the sun. Fortunately for me, I haven't experienced them lately. And we also remember that last night was a new moon. Yesterday was a new moon. And the new moon seems to also be following me. Today's a new moon. The next new moon I'll be launching my book. And the new moon after that is my birthday. So the new moon is following my life at the moment. And the energies are really supporting where we're going and what we're doing. And amazing things are unfolding. And those that are struggling with getting their lives in order or trying to move forward, I can share something with you that will, I wrote about it, which was the journey with the shaman, which I experienced a few weeks ago. Again, that person came to me literally by chance. During a meeting, somebody told me that he experienced ayahuasca, and I said, I want to see the guy. And 2 weeks ago, I went and had a Kamba ceremony and an ayahuasca tea ceremony, which was amazing. And whilst my body resisted, eventually I surrendered. And as much as we believe that we are free and we're letting go and we're not in control, part of us still is, and that's our body, our physical entity, our vessel. And it's really what I discovered through this process, the ayahuasca journey, was I had to let go of everything, of all my perceptions of how things are. And as I was going through the journey, which was incredible, I could see the other dimensions. I could see my soul family. I could see soul brothers and sisters that I don't know. I only recognize their light bodies. And as I was looking through the clouds, I could see the chaos. I could see the chaos below. And throughout this whole experience, whilst one can say it was psychedelic, it was stimulated, it was whatever it was within me. It was something that was meant for me. And what I saw showed me the path that I'd been on, those that had helped me and guided me along the way. And it was part of an ascension process, an initiation process of where we're going. And the ultimate, the pinnacle was I fully let go. And that was when my body relaxed. And that was when I really appreciated and experienced the tea and the journey. With the help of the shaman, I was guided through 6 hours of amazing things. And different people were channeling through the shaman. And the end result was I could see that there's no point in worrying about what's going to happen. Everything is predestined. Everything is going to happen to you, to us, as it's supposed to be. And the more we hold on to our beliefs, our upbringing, who we relate to as a soulmate or a twin flame, all of these perceptions that we have, they no longer serve us in the higher dimensions, because everything is possible, anything is possible. And there are limitless possibilities in the higher dimensions, in the higher realms, when we're connected to our higher consciousness. And that's where we're trying to get to. And living in that higher consciousness is not very easy, and it doesn't help with all of these energies that are going on. The energies are continuing to push and push and push for us to resolve things and for us to put things behind us. And today I had to add another chapter to my book because there was no conclusion. But I wrote the conclusion today, and now it's finished. Everything's packaged, it's gone to the editor, and it'll be back with me next week ready for publishing. And the number of words is 27,777. This is something quite incredible, because the sevens have been following me around for the last 2 weeks. And it's a milestone. And now I'm ready to go forward into the new. There are new opportunities coming my way. There are new responsibilities coming my way. And the whole world is my oyster. And the whole world is your oyster too. And the energies are going to continue to ask you to leave behind everything that you know. Leave behind everything that you believe to be true. Because what we believe is true within our three-dimensional existence is not our truth. Our truth is spanned across the eons that we've incarnated. Our life, this lifetime, is just a snapshot of where we've been and what we've done. And we have to let go of all of these perceptions that we have and completely trust in the direction that we ourselves are taking us in. So there's a lot of work that's been done, the stripping back of the layers, getting to the core, the realizations, the aha moments. And we're now firmly in the new. And those that aren't prepared for the new are going to feel the pressure. They're going to feel these symptoms. They're going to feel these anxieties. They're going to wonder what the hell's going on. Because there's unfinished business. And it is really letting go of all of these perceptions. Whoever your twin is your twin. Whoever your soulmate is your soulmate. Whoever you believe you're connected to is irrelevant. You are you. And one of the things that I've been saying since I started teaching, since I started this whole journey, was that this whole journey is about you and only you. Where you will go and where you will be led to is down to you. The world is in your hands. You are the masters of your own destiny. You are the universe. Your mind is your own universe. And you create whatever you want to create within it. And you move forward knowing that you are taken care of. You are watched over. Your loved ones that have passed over are around you. Your twin is around you. Your soulmate connections are around you. They're supporting you and they're giving you the encouragement to live a life in love. That love that you are. The love that we are. And one of the things that I shared with a few soul sisters when I went through the shaman experience was how truly we are connected. How we can communicate in another dimension. How we can interact with other people, like bodies in higher dimensions. It's real. I've experienced it. And I know that it exists. And this again allows another set of faith for your psychology. Many believe in God. Many believe in Bible, these stories that were written thousands and thousands of years ago, but they don't believe in themselves. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you believe what is written in the Bible or that there is a God? You are God. Everything that you do is in your hands. And you'll be presented with life choices to make. And you'll know yourself which path is the right path. Or you'll start something that you believe is the right path, and then something will come into you and say, this is not right, something's not right. And your senses become alive, your intuition is awake. And once you've made this step, there's no going backwards, because you are in the new. And as with anything new, especially a person, excuse me, especially a person, life begins as a child. So imagine yourself in the new now. You're in an adult body, and you've got all of these previous thought processes that really are illusions. And you're growing up again. You're a child, going to be a teenager, then you're going to go through puberty, and then you're going to go into your adult life. And now the two are merging together. The synchronicities that you're seeing, the life events that are going on around you are allowing you to experience the new. And many, including myself, are not sure what to do. We stop and we think, I need to make an answer. I need to make a decision. And we allow time to pass for those decisions to be made, because it's all new. So we're rapidly merging these two bodies, whether it's light body and physical body, or these different dimensions together. There's a lot of melding going on. And we need to let them flow. We need to let it flow. We don't need the answers for everything. And this is something else I also learned. Those that we care about, those that we love, those that we believe we're connected to spiritually, or our twins or our soulmates, for example, they are with us. They're around us. They're part of us. And they will always be around us. Whether they're here in the physical or not is irrelevant. They're here. And you start to believe these things. You have to convince your psyche, your mind, that they're here. And whatever you're going to do is for your highest good. And that's what the energies are pushing us towards. There's a lot of momentum at the moment. I know the last 3 days I've been working 18 hours a day on finishing the things that I need to finish for my book. And I don't know why or where I've got this energy from. There's a sudden urgency to move forward and to leave behind what no longer serves. My children are also affected. My daughter that's here with me is going through lots of changes. My daughter in Australia is also going through some stuff that she doesn't want to talk about. And I'm patiently waiting for the time when they are ready to talk and to share these things with me. I'm not going to push them for an answer. Anything that I'm doing these days, I'm not pushing people for answers. When the answers come, they come. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is for my best. What I'm doing for other people is the best that I can do. If I don't have the information coming back, I can't do anything more. So I just have to leave it to the powers that be for answers. And that means completely walking in a desert, not knowing where the next waterhole is, or not knowing where the next oasis is, not knowing where the next city is. And you can relate to this with the stories. You can look at the stories from the Bible about Jesus. Jesus just walked this planet sharing love, coming across the people that he came across. That was his story. And that's what we're doing. We are changing the way that others are thinking. We have an impact on other people's lives. The work that we do, whether it's in a physical reality or in the higher realms, are certainly changing the direction and the way things are going on around the globe. And there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't need to know the answers. We don't need to know when or how or why. We just need to believe that what we're doing is for our highest good. And what I see coming up over the next few weeks, few months, is a lot more pressure. And if you have cleared what you need to clear, and you've resolved what you need to resolve, this is going to be lighter and lighter and lighter. And you're going to get to a place of complete tranquility. You're going to be, I'm here, I'm in paradise, I'm in heaven. But this heaven is your own reality. It's the reality that you create. And that's when you start to achieve many things of greatness. And greatness in the way of you seeing results. You're seeing things that you desire manifested. You see things that you have thought about that are suddenly appearing in front of your eyes. You know, you can have a thought 1 second and something that will manifest within 30 seconds or a minute. And that's the way that you know that you're on the right path. If you're walking around everywhere, you're seeing numbers, you're seeing synchronicities, these are all signs to tell you that you're on the path, you're on the right path. And there's no reason for you to look up a number. What does it mean? Take it as a sign from your angels or your guides or from the universe that you're on the right path. Everything is fine. Everything's going to be okay. And if you have situations that you need to deal with them in a way that allows a peaceful resolution. Or you walk away from that situation because you just can't deal with the energy, or you can't deal with the frustration. And if that's in a work situation, don't be afraid to say, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't agree with it. And something else will come along. People will respect you for saying no more than saying, yes, you can do something and not doing it. And there's a big difference there. Saying yes to please somebody else is not a good thing. Saying yes to please yourself is a very good thing. And many will say that it's selfish. It's not selfish. You're appreciating who you are, the value and the worth that you are as a person and as a soul. And you're serving yourself. You're helping others on their path. You're helping others in situations where they need help. But again, this has to be in balance. You start to give away all of your energy again, as a few people that I know are, things start to change. The dynamic starts to change and the vibrations are lowered. So whatever we do should be in the same vibration. We can heal the world this way. We can heal it by loving each other. It doesn't matter what twat Trump does, what chaos they cause in the States. It doesn't matter what chaos is caused in Asia or the UK or London or Russia. It doesn't matter. Let those people play their games. Let others that we as people have empowered to do our work, let them do what they need to do, because they need to see it for themselves too. We need to do what we need to do for ourselves. And these are the most important words that I can say to you. It's tough. It's really, really, really tough. But once you get to the point of doing this on a daily basis, it becomes relatively easy. It's natural. It becomes second nature. So you've created this complete babushka again. And it's new. And as you're learning, and you can get frustrated with yourself, and you can allow the ego to come in. But when you know that your ego's coming in, acknowledge it and say, sorry, I don't need your help right now. I'm happy as I am doing what I'm doing. And get on and do it. And be who you are. And allow the love that you are to be transmitted and received. And it will come back in many, many different ways. In where you walk, where you talk, the people you connect with, how you act socially, all of these things. Allow things to unfold as they're meant to unfold. And there's no urgency. Yes, we have a short period of time on this planet in our current lifetime. But this is an eternal journey. So what's the hurry? There are no winners in this race because there's no race to be had. And when you recognize that there's no race, there's no urgency. We as man created time, but time doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. It's a way to keep us under control. But you go to the outback of Australia, you go to the jungles of Amazon or any primitive or indigenous people, the time is irrelevant. What happens, happens. What will be, will be. So as we go through these cycles, we strip away what needs to be got rid of, we allow the new to come in, and we move forward in this new energy that we are. And as we move forward, the energy just grows. And it grows and grows and grows. And there will be days when the shit hits the fan. There will be days when we have to deal with situations that we need to deal with. And we have to deal with them in a new way. Because a lot of the stuff that we've done previously, we've forgotten. And I know the last few weeks I'm in new situations that I can't call upon experience. I have to deal with it, find a solution myself. And it's this constant learning. And if we're afraid of learning or we're not willing to learn, we can never go forward. We can never expand our conscious mind. We can keep evolving, but that's not expansion. You know, the power of this brain, the power of this mind that we have is phenomenal. It's incredible what it can do. It's incredible the power that we have as one individual. Multiply that by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Imagine 10,000 people sitting in a soccer stadium, all being love. How that is going to amplify around a city, around a county, around a country. It has a ripple effect. And people suddenly start to think differently. Situations that are unpeaceful become peaceful because we have the power. It's just believing in that power in a loving way that we have that will get us to where we're going. And we're all in this together. We all contribute on a daily basis to this expansion of consciousness. And the more that we can raise ourselves into the higher dimensions, the more we will see clearly. Imagine when you're in the fifth dimension, you're seeing things in the fifth dimension that you can't see in the 3D. Why is this? Because there's no low vibration. There's no negativity. You're in a clear space. And the higher you go, the clearer it becomes. And the more unique it becomes. And you start to experience different things. Allow yourself to break the chains of this dimension and leave it behind. We have to live here, yes. We have to function as human beings, yes. We have incomes to earn, whatever, to look after our homes, to look after our children, to take care of our lives. And they will be provided for. Sometimes it takes a big pair of balls to go out and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to change everything. And I want to change everything. I don't have any fear. And it may take 2 or 3 weeks or a month to finally filter through into your body and the amazing things start to happen. I have no idea how I've survived the last 2.5 years. I've survived. I've lived. I've done things that are incredible, as I'm sure many of you have. Keep believing in that, because that's the essence that you are. And the governments and the churches and the politicians and the science field, they take that power away from us. We believe what is written is true, but who wrote it? Who paid for it to be written? So ask these things of yourself. And you can see these days that there's a lot more spiritual thinking going around the world. There's a lot more spiritual stuff going on. And you can see that balance is changing. Certain politicians are waking others. The UK was, no matter what anybody else says, the UK was the starting point. This tapered off into the US, this tapered off into other Southeast Asias, these topped up into Southern America. It's a ripple effect. And we have to believe that this is the change that is needed. There will be chaos. What type of chaos? I have no idea. I'm not part of it because I'm rising above it. If you want to be involved in the chaos, you will stay in the chaos. And you will struggle, your body will struggle to come into the higher dimensions. There will be a conflict within yourself on what's best. And the more you get yourself involved in other people's issues, what's going on politically, what's going on geopolitically, who's fighting who, the more you're giving your energy away to a low vibration. Treat it with love. There's nothing you can do to change it except to be love. And if you are love, it will not affect you. So expect a lot of changes over the coming months, probably the coming years. And I put my glasses on for a change. Allow things just to happen. Because what is coming is beautiful. What is coming is phenomenal. The snippets that I've seen are incredible. But it requires us to stay in this higher dimension, in these higher vibrations, and to rise above. And this is what ascension is really, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This is ascension, is rising above. You hear about born again Christians, born again this, rebirths. This is what it is. This is the babushka. It's a rebirth. We've stripped it to its core and we've rebuilt it with only the things that serve us. That's what we've done with our bodies. That's what we've done with our mind. Our soul is still intact, and our soul will forever be intact. It's only this physical framework that we change. It's only this brain processor that we change to reflect the real situation that is right for us. And we need to go on with that mentality, and that is very hard for the ego mind to want to accept. If you could wipe your memory now and start from the scratch in this adult body, then it would be much easier. But we have all of that we know. We've been carrying these bags of baggage for forever in all of our incarnations. And now we have the chance and the opportunity, which is what we're here for, to free ourselves of that baggage completely and to rise and ascend above all of it, to create these new templates and to create these new paradigms that are so desperately needed. And my book is called Love Outside the Box. But I very rarely mention the word love in the book, because love is a perception that we have been taught. Love is a perception that we have been shown. But we are love. Who we are is love. And what we are inside is love. So our whole perception of what love is ass about face. One of the things the shaman gave me was this incredibly thick book. It's called The Antipodes of the Mind, Charting the Phenomenology of the Ayahuasca Experience. And it's like 600 pages or so. And it's written by a Jewish guy who's been to the Amazon for 20 years. And it's a paper, theses, of his experience and his encounters with the shaman practices. And if one thing I will say to you, don't go looking for shaman. Don't go looking for this type of healing. Don't go looking for this type of meditation or medication. Allow it to come to you. If it's meant to be for you, it will come to you, as it did for me. And I know others that have experienced it under the strangest of circumstances. It just happens. And if you do get the opportunity, take it, but take it without doing research. Take it without being toxified by what other people say. It's a unique experience for us, for each of us as an individual. And each of us will get from it what we need to take from it. So this is my homework for the next 2 months. But I shall be going for another ayahuasca ceremony on the next full moon, which is the 11th of March, to continue that exploration, the exploration into the unknown. And many that know me have said they believe that I was a shaman. So maybe this is my calling also, to look at this aspect of myself, this healing aspect of myself. Because there are, for sure, other dimensions. Others of you that are mediums or psychics, you know this. What I experienced was new. What else is happening? Wow, that was a half an hour run. Excuse me 1 second while I have a swig of water. What else is happening? The weather's changing, the seasons are changing. We're coming into spring, or in Australia, coming into autumn. So our bodies are going into this waking up or closing down, ready for hibernation or ready for the summer. Much the same as the energies. We are being prepared for something exciting. What it is, I have no idea, and I really don't want to know. For those that need the answers, go and find another planet, because we need to be satisfied with who we are. not what everybody else is doing, not what's going on in on the moon, not what's going on in Outer Mongolia, or what's going on in the Himalayas, what's going on in another country, what's going on in our lives. What can we change within ourselves to make our life, or to help our life become far more rewarding and fulfilling? And when we focus on our lives, that's where our energy goes. And that means our family, our friends, our soul brothers and sisters, and whatever else, it doesn't really matter. We've been so long, for so long I was editing in my mind then, for so long we've been bombarded with other people's opinions about how it should be and what it is, and we all know that it's a crock of shit. And the one thing I wanted to say, because it just come that the next generations, the younger generations, know that this is an illusion, and they're waiting for us. They're waiting for us to get our shit together and to get our stuff together and help them. We are the new icons for them. They need guidance. They need help. They know that this is all a Mickey Mouse show. We know it, but we don't really want to believe it because other people have told us that this is how it is. And that's what we've broken. We have broken all of these conditionings, all of these thought processes, all of these things that we believe that were true, but are not. So this is the breaking point and the shattering of those belief systems and those patterns, and we're building the new, and we have to construct the new because the younger generations are waiting for us to do so. And that will lead me on to what I was discussing with somebody after I had my experience, because it was quite profound. If our generation, those that are watching this webinar now, or those that are in contact with me and with other soul family members that I know, unless we change what we are doing, 50 years' time, this place is going to be a marshland. It's going to be, I would not want to be here. And that's the seriousness. That's scientifically proven. It's not just me talking about it. Science will show you this. The climate is changing. The climate will escalate over the next 10 to 15 years unless we do something to change it. And the stupid politicians don't believe it, but it's happening and it's real. You can see it. You can see it with your own eyes. You can see it every time that you open a window or you go out and the seasons change. You can see 3 seasons, 4 seasons in one day. We see volcanoes erupting. We see tidal waves. We see forest fires. We see earthquakes. This is Mother Nature telling us to change. This is her warning signal to us. And unless we heed it, there is going to be Armageddon. But it's going to be Mother Nature's Armageddon. And it's happened before on this planet. The Ice Age happened before on this planet. Are we so naive that it can't happen again? We're told not to worry about it. I'm not worried about it because I'm doing something to change. I teach my children this type of mentality. But there are so many people that are not talking about it and not open about it and not willing to allow that discussion to be had. Unless we change these things, there is no future. There's our lifetime, the rest of our lifetime. What's our legacy? We never did what we were asked to do when we came here. So therefore it was left to shit. And there we are wandering around up in the higher realms, and we come down in 50 years' time or 100 years' time, and we see what's left, nothing. Or very little. Is that the type of legacy that we want to leave? I don't believe so. And that's been taught by philosophers, by inventors, by the ascended masters. Unless we change this is going to happen. And it will happen. And many will say, it's not my responsibility, I empower somebody else to do this, I empower the government to do this, I empower the environmental agency to do this, I give money to Oxfam or to whoever to help the refugees and all this stuff. What are you doing to help change that? Be love. Forget about everything that everybody says. If you believe in the power of a crystal can heal, Believe in the power of the mind can heal. Believe in your own power that your own mind can heal. The same that you believe that this crystal can. And that's the message. Look within ourselves for where we're going. Look within ourselves for the energy and the love that we are, so that we can make that change. And when we make that change within, this affects others. And this affects those that are in our lives. And that message then ripples. And as those people need help, okay, we're there to help them. As we need help, they're there to help us. And this is going back to the whole point of being a community, of being connected. Throw away the mobile phone and start sending letters. Or throw away the mobile phone and start talking to people. Start communicating how we've got a tongue and we've got ears and we've got a brain to use for communication. These days our fingers are doing the talking. Our fingers are here to do different things. Our mind is being slowly forced to think in the way that the corporations want us and the governments want us to believe. And that's how the expansion of our brain is not happening. And this is something that you can see across the whole evolution of man. The power of the brain. How much of the brain power are we using? When we're up in the higher realms, we're tapping into this power. We're shooting brain waves and the neons are going open, firing, they're triggering. And they're connecting again. And they're forming bridges within our own brain because they haven't been used before, the neurons. And we have a whole universe in our brain because it is a universe. We create what we are able to create. And the more we expand our consciousness, the more we are able to create. Because we are creators. That's what human beings are, creators. We can create love. 200,000, 1 million people can create love and have an effect on 100 million people. Think about that power. Because that's the power that each of you has within. I know the number of lives that I touch on a daily basis, as you know the number of lives that you touch on a daily basis. If there are people in your lives that are of low vibration, that just talk shit and just want your attention, time to push them away. Because it doesn't serve you. There has to be this balance, and there has to be this contribution and reward. You're contributing something, your rewards will come back. If nothing's coming back to you, you know that you're doing something that's not right or not for your highest good. So the idea is to stop and start again. And there's no harm in stopping and starting, because eventually you'll get it. Much like over 50 years of life, the number of times I've stopped and start are incredible. Where I am now, I'm not going to stop again. I'm not going to start again, because this is my start and this is my final start. Because now I have the ability to see everything that I couldn't see before. Because my brain was full of garbage. And my brain was full of conditioning. And my brain was full of beliefs that are not true. So, there we go. I've been rambling along. What time is it now? I don't think I've got really much more to say. I don't think there's anything else I can say. Except this. Be who you are. Be that lighthouse. Here you go. Be that lighthouse. Let's use some technology. There you go. I'm in the bottom corner now. Be that lighthouse. Use your name on that lighthouse. It doesn't really matter. Wow, this webcam's quite cool. Be that lighthouse that you are. And shine your love to everyone. Walk down the street, say hello to your neighbors, say hello to somebody in the street, make their day. It costs nothing. You go into McDonald's or you go into Starbucks and you say morning for a coffee and you say thank you when you leave. What's wrong with saying thank you to somebody, saying hello to somebody in the street? We've forgotten these things, we've forgotten these principles, we've forgotten these everyday things that we did as young children. What we were taught as young children. Treat people with respect, treat people like this. and everything will be cool. And that's the truth. Everything will be cool. But somehow media and television and internet and all that stuff got cluttered in the way. And it's us that haven't grasped how to use it properly. Because the internet's a wonderful tool. I'm doing this via the internet. I couldn't have done this 20 years ago. But I can do it today. And I don't need a glorious editing suite or anything. I'm using this on my laptop, which is a 3-year-old laptop and a webcam. And the software that from Livestream. It's does the job that it's supposed to do. Our brains can do so much more. Our brains, our souls, our hearts, our love. And it can do so much more. So be the lighthouse, people. That's it for me today. If you've got any questions, send me an email or send me a message on Facebook. I'll be happy to answer them. If I've missed something, send me a message. If not, take it easy. See you later. Lots of love. Bye-bye.